think we should start off with this, because all Bears fans should be able to agree on this, if nothing else. Keep pounding, Panthers! You're only a couple of games away from securing the top overall pick in next year's draft for the Bears, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. And is there any Panthers fans out there? We understand. We thank you. We're sorry it came at the expense of Bryce Young's career, potentially. They overdrafted him, paid way too much to get him, and then put him in a really bad spot. Can we all at least agree on that, Bears fans? I would hope. I'm sure everything else I'm going to talk about in the rest of this recap is going to be divisive as shit. Whatever. That's the spirit, after all, of Bears football! Because there are so many things I can talk about from today's 28-13 victory over the Detroit Lions. So many things. For those that might wonder, do I think this is a bit of a disaster scenario starting to engage for the Bears? Yes. Win a couple of games late in the year. Let the run to the wild card round in 2024 begin! That's where we're headed. We're gonna run it back! Gotta do it, baby! Give them another year! And then they'll make the wild card round, and then everybody will get extensions, and then by 2026 everybody will be crying how stupid that was! That's the disaster mode that's starting to come into play here. We're not there yet, though. You know, for those that are going to say, damn it, the Bears aren't protecting the tank, they're winning games now. One, C, the Carolina Panthers pick is about to be the number 1 overall pick. 2, think about it like this. Just because you have top picks doesn't mean you get the top players in drafts. The draft history every year is littered with scenarios where players were drafted much lower than how they ultimately played in terms of their career. They vastly outplayed their draft slots. I agree, having higher picks is better in terms of leverage, in terms of power that you have within a draft, etc., but it's not the worst thing in the world for the Bears to win a game or two the rest of the year. It isn't. It wasn't realistic to expect a 4-8 Bears team to lose out. That wasn't realistic. Like, that's not Bears football. Bears football would be going like 3-2 in these last 5 games, so you're still not close to the playoffs, but you screwed up your own pick. Like, that is what Chicago sports is all about. Win meaningless games that don't do anything for you in the grand scheme of things, but you can feel good about the mediocrity. I got a good feeling to my stomach from that for next year. That's Bears football. So, they might not be protecting the tank, but it's not all disaster, doom, and gloom. Let's just keep that in mind. Now, where do you go here? This was a game of flashes to me. And I think Louis Riddick was talking about it recently. And he was talking about flashes get you fired in reference to Justin Fields. And let's start there. Because, man, that perfectly describes Justin Fields in my opinion. Flashes. Not sustained high-level play, flashes. He can make the big spectacular run happen. He can, on a 4th and long, sit there and play the defense beautifully and hit a strike to DJ Moore for a touchdown. Hey, imagine that, right? Crazy concept. Target DJ Moore. Good fucking things happen. But this is the Justin Fields that'll overthrow Darnell Mooney on 3rd and short when you've got to have it. This is the guy that will sit there. Yes, he runs for a touchdown, but before that, he has a bad throw to Kmet that should have been for a touchdown. Yes, he'll make a big play here and there as a runner or even occasionally as a thrower, and he'll make some nice throws like that one to Mooney early in the game to the sideline was on a that was a laser on a rope, right? Well, it was a fantastic throw. But then you have these other duck snorts and wobblers You got a guy that still holds onto the ball way too fucking long and takes too many sacks. You know, you could agree or disagree with Stank in terms of during the game. Oh, that's why these guys get some holding penalties in the offensive line. That sounds like an offensive lineman. Like, you watch that, no. Like, Luke Fitzpatrick just fucking sucks. Stop being an idiot. I know it's a big ass for Mark Schlereth, right? But he still doesn't process well. He still does not consistently throw with anticipation of any kind. Some of those key throws you need a quarterback to make, he just fails to execute those. So it is very easy to get caught up on the spectacular shit. It is. But to me, sometimes I equate Justin Fields to somebody that golfs, that can whack the shit out of the ball, can hit it 330 down the middle of the fairway, and you're like, holy shit. But then a lot of other times it's a big draw hook or a big banana slice. But then when he does hit it on the fairway, he'll hit a wedge to within 15 feet, and then he'll fucking three-putt. So he does the drive for show, but can't putt for dough. And I know you're going to have those Bears fans that will be like, no, Justin Fields is the future. This was greatness. It was a mid-performance by him. It really was. You had some really good moments, and you had too many bad moments for a guy with over 30 starts now as a professional quarterback. He just can't have as many of those negative detracting plays, and he still does. To me, I watched this game today, and I saw plenty of examples proving why the Bears do need to be moving on from him next season at the quarterback position. But the problem is a win like this can potentially con and suck an organization into giving it another shot for another year. Whatever. You know, it's ironic, right? Like, you still had those moments of stupidity with gutless Getsy. Put him up. I'm the offensive coordinator. I'm going to do it. They're never going to see it coming. 1st and 10. Load up the box. Halfback dive. But then you see like this masterclass on the first drive, right? The Lions are so worried about what Justin Fields does as a runner. He lines Justin Fields up wide, so they're all focused about this. And they think when Justin Fields is coming back to the ball that he's going to get it and he's going to throw it. And instead it's DJ Moore running around end for a touchdown. Like, it's a fantastic play call. But then as you watch the game kind of progress, you see him start to get back in some of those bad habits. You still don't have a bunch of slants and crossing patterns in this offense for whatever fucking reason. First half, not nearly enough targets for DJ Moore as a pass catcher. 4th and 1, you're sitting there and loading up the box, and instead of having Justin Fields run the ball, you're pitching out wide to DJ Moore on the weak side. Numbskull Nagy says hello. It's that shit, right? Like playing it too close to the vest or getting too cute at times. Getsy in his second year still can't figure this shit out. And that's why he needs to still fucking go. Period. But then you can sit there and blame certain things on Getsy, but let's look late in the game. The Bears are trying to close it out. 2nd and 8. Great play call. I actually love the play call. Throw on 2nd down in that situation when you're trying to ice the game, not 3rd down. Because the defense will be off guard. They won't be expecting to throw on 2nd and 8, especially playing against Bears football. And look what happens. DJ Moore is wide, buck naked ass open over the middle. And what does Justin Fields do? He airmails him by a fucking mile. Like, come on. Those are the plays that you've got to make. The splash flash shit can be fun sometimes, but it's the basic, solid plays that this young man just does not hit consistently enough. That's why he can't be the long-term guy in Chicago, point blank, period. End of discussion. So I'm sure some people are going to question Getsy for that play call on 2nd and 8. It was a great play call as evidenced by how fucking open DJ Moore was. And at least this time, unlike a few weeks ago when the deep throw was to Tyler Scott, at least it was to your Pro Bowl wide receiver, DJ Moore. And Fields fucked it up. Now I look at the Bears defense, and I say, they're playing better. Montez Sweat actually got a sack today where he was getting blocked. Miracles can happen. It's one thing he makes plays when he's completely unblocked. Let's see what he does when he is actually getting blocked. And he got a sack. He was generating some pressure. Jerron Dexter with a great big sack on third down. But as much as you can point to the Bears defense playing better in recent weeks, you wonder how much of that is fool's gold, because even in that fourth quarter, the Bears were up 2 touchdowns. And what are the Lions able to do? Immediately proceed to march it right down the fucking field. Now, of course, the Lions gonna Lions, and they fucked it up. You know, in a game of fuck-ups, right? Like, early in the game. You have the big third down play to Jahmyr Gibbs in the flat, and he drops it. It looks like that could have been a fucking touchdown. Next play, Jalen Johnson picks it off. Jared Goff with the fumbled snap. Like, the Lions beating themselves, right? Typical. They're going to win the division, but they're not going anywhere in the playoffs. They got to figure out how to stop shooting themselves in the damn foot. Which I could also say for Chicago, in reality, they are shooting themselves in the foot in the red zone because they have multiple opportunities that turn into field goals instead of touchdowns. They should have beaten the fucking brakes off of the Lions today with how poorly Detroit is playing right now and how poorly they played in this game. The Bears should have destroyed them. And you were still sitting there in the fourth quarter worried because fucking Eberflus's defense starts getting gashed. And even after that aforementioned Dexter sack on third down, which is great, 4th and 17, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is still able to get open past the sticks for a first down, and he just drops it. Because again, ultimately, Lions gonna Lions. That's why it's hard to buy into the Eberflus defense. Because in big spots and when it matters, they get their shit rocked. The difference today is that the Lions weren't able to capitalize. I'm sure you're going to have Lions fans complaining about the refs when it sounded like Bears football fans to me. You know, but the reality is, as I look at it, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs were having pretty good, effective days on the ground. Why between them did they only have like 21 carries? I realize the Bears' defense has been statistically very good against the run this year, but the Lions should have done better more consistently throughout the game to get the running game going. Yeah, it was just not a good performance by the Lions at all. Bears fans, there are going to be plenty of them that are going to be really doing backflips over this. They beat the Lions. They won 2 games in a row. They beat the Vikings. They won some divisional games. Yeah, maybe that is something to hang your head on. But I look at this one and I say, a better team, a better coach team beats the brakes off of the Lions today. That's how bad Detroit looks. That's how bad Detroit is playing. And we were still even up 15 in the fourth quarter looking at this and wondering if the Bears were going to gag it up. And for a little bit there, it looked like they were going to. So I'm sorry, I can't sit there and get too giggly tits at that one. Am I too cynical, too jaded, too critical? No. Last time the Bears won the Super Bowl, I was 4 years old wearing Scooby-Doo underpants, so fuck all this. Well, I want to feel good about my fandom. No, there's no feel good about it. Fucking win championships. That's the name of the game. I think there are certainly positives to take away from this one, right? I do question why D'Onta Foreman is getting so many touches if he's not going to be brought back next year. You know what I mean? Like Roschon didn't get much. Tick today. So there's still things I question. Braxton Jones had some pretty good moments today holding up, and then he got beat once or twice. Darnell Wright had a couple of moments that were kind of rough, but otherwise looked solid. So there are certainly positives there, right? Darnell Mooney getting a little bit more involved in the offense. Cole Kmet had a couple of nice plays today. So there are things on offense. And I wonder how quickly some of those Fields fans are going to sit there and talk about it's not such a bad supporting cast now, but if they lose next week and Fields plays, all of a sudden it's going to be blaming the fucking supporting cast. So yeah, the Bears win this one. They still win today no matter what your perspective because the Panthers keep pounding away towards ruining Bryce Young's career and getting that number 1 overall pick. That's still exciting news. But if you're going to get too carried away with this and overreact too much, come back to fucking reality. The Bears still stink. They're 5-8. They're not going any fucking where. don't get too crazy with it.